From getting creeps from Dexter to seriously hunting him to prove he is a killer, today we are gonna find out the moment James Doakes realized Dexter was a killer. While everyone in Miami Metro were clueless what made Doakes to go ballistic on a fellow colleague. Doakes was no normal cop. He had served some time in special ops, and during his time there it is safe to say that he crossed some lines that he could not uncross, giving him a dark passenger of his own. While the show does not talk about it as much, the books have mentioned this to be the specific reason for Doakes to dislike Dexter so much. But this doesn't mean a lot because the show and books are two completely different worlds of their own, but it is safe to say that Doakes had developed an instinct to identify killers, tad like Dexter's, because he was a killer himself and had urges of his own. He even talks about it when he confesses that he left his wife because he thought he would kill her. Doakes had more on-duty shootings than any other cop. When Dexter catches him in season 2, he even talks about it to Doakes.
And what I am. That's why you have more officer-related shootings than anybody else.
Doakes begins to hide himself behind the law, just like Dexter justifies his kills by the code of Harry. It is made pretty clear that both of them are quite alike, but it wasn't just Doakes' instincts and their similar nature that led him to Dexter's secret, but it was more of Dexter's behavior which made him suspicious in the first place. In Season 1, Episode 1, we see Dexter surrounded by pictures of blood while he is spinning on his chair, which is weird itself, but then he starts talking about the kill and sounds almost unimpressed. Sergeant Doakes even calls him out on this, but Dexter just acts like he is joking and it's no big deal. From the very first episode, it was made clear that Doakes sensed something off about Dexter, but in Season 7, Episode 12, we see a flashback of James Doakes and Dexter, where Doakes saw the real glimpse of Dexter for the first time, as he talks about a crime scene with way too much excitement.
Grabs her and flips her over. He's on top of her now, slices her carotid artery. She's terrified, heart's racing.
I've never seen someone so excited about a crime scene before.
Dexter later admits to himself in the same episode that he should not have let his guard down, but by that time it was already too late. Also, we need to take into consideration that how hard it is to manage time when you're working in homicide while also doing part-time serial killing as a hobby. Even someone as well trained as Dexter was bound to go missing from time to time, and as Doakes already sensed something wrong with him. These disappearances did not go unnoticed, and as they became more frequent, Dexter found himself more and more on the bad side of James Doakes. One of the reasons why Dexter had been able to work under the radar and appear genuine for such a long period of time was because of Vince Masuka. Also a forensic analyst who did his job in front of everyone, but what made him stand out and hide Dexter under his shadow was his nature, like once. While investigating Trinity's kill, Masuka was throwing dolls from a balcony to identify if she was pushed or not. And then he says he made it wear a short skirt so that he could see its underwear while it falls. This statement alone is far creepier and sick than almost everything Dexter said or did throughout the show. But still, Doakes latched onto Dexter's creepiness and did not get blindsided because of Masuka, and that was because whatever Masuka said was meant to make people laugh or roll their eyes, but there was nothing funny about what Dexter did or said, but more of admiration and recognition. Like once Dexter was explaining a crime scene, and while explaining it, he gets lost in admiration, which made Doakes ask him if he was getting turned on, while of course this had nothing to do with arousal, but recognition. But it shows us the difference between Dexter and Masuka, which Sergeant Doakes did not miss. Like Dexter's life was not already bad enough by then, James Doakes finds out about Dexter's background and the fact that he was the top of his class and traded it for blood spatter. Also that Dexter had learned advanced jujutsu, which was of no use for a lab geek. Then came the worst time for Dexter. During the ice truck killer investigation while Deborah had been kidnapped, Dexter was no way near to be found and wasn't even answering his phone, which made Doakes and Lagerta come to his apartment, which was in a pretty bad shape. Later that day, Doakes tails Dexter and finds him near a container and asks him why he is there. Then Dexter gives him the lamest excuse possible. After this, they get into a fight where Dexter shows his incredible fighting skills by overpowering Doakes, a ex-special op and a sergeant, like it was the most normal thing ever. Doakes even says,
"Lab, kick my ass."
highlighting that this did not go unnoticed. After Deborah was rescued and there were questions in people's mind about why Dexter was there, she shots him off saying he saved her life and they should be grateful that he did their job for them. Doakes' suspicions were at their peak, so he started tailing Dexter, making his life harder. At that time, Rita thought Dexter to be an addict because what her ex said about Dexter framing him, and Dexter quickly accepted the allegation and agreed to join rehab program so that she doesn't find out about his secret. As Doakes was tailing Dexter, he catches him in the program and tells him that he is safe as long as he recovers and doesn't do it again. But this newfound sympathy was not going to last much long, as Deborah tells him that Dexter was never an addict. With that, the sympathy was gone from Doakes' mind, and what came was utter and pure rage. He confronts Dexter in his office about it, and that makes Dexter to file a complaint on Sergeant Doakes, as Doakes still did not stop. Dexter tells him wrong information about a case, causing him to go ballistic on an innocent, and submits the correct lab report to Legata, which makes it look like Doakes was losing his mind. And for the final nail in the coffin, Dexter tells Doakes that he owns him, and headbutts Doakes in the office and conveniently walks out of the room, causing Doakes to attack him in front of everyone and getting fired, which was very smart. This is the exact moment when Doakes realized that Dexter is not some lab geek or a creep who does things weirdly, but instead he is a lot worse, because if he is willing to accept that he is an addict when he is not, to hide his true identity, what he is hiding must be way worse. In the end, Doakes' instincts and his own nature that was quite similar to Dexter and Dexter's mistakes, and when he dropped his mask completely, were the collection of the reasons why Dexter's real truth became visible to James Doakes.